Um, I was just telling Jules and Naomi today we're doing a little different kind of introduction into our meeting because I want to. Me and Kat were talking the other day, and we were just kind of thinking about how we can really make some of our workflows make sense for everybody. So give me a second to open up. I have a little slide. It's not long at all. But basically, what we're going to do today is talk about kind of a term that no one's really using right now, right? It's called, or what we were calling it, is creative bandwidth, right? And for us, working on this project, it's something that we all have naturally had. But eventually, we're now in the stages where we're getting close to being able to actualize some of our creative projects and transition into the latter part of the podcast that'll open us up to creative consulting for sponsors, for partners that we have on the show, in addition to other consulting opportunities that we'll have with Culture Creatives by way of Go Deeper podcast. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Andre, have any questions so far? Or
Uh,
still good?
no,
All right.
very nice to meet you all. Put names to face. Captain, she speaks highly of all three of you. It was very nice to put face to names.
Absolutely. So here's what I have so far. So basically today, guys, I know we usually start off with a meditation um, and kind of a introduction to our thought. It gets our minds ready to really build on some of our projects and kind of speak in depth to the next steps for us. So what I have here today is a team consulting case, right? Because eventually what I want to stress to you guys is that your creative abilities that you have on your individual projects working for the podcast will turn into opportunities for consulting later on, right? These can be for large organizations, individuals, companies, or just on specific projects, whether it's activations or anything like that. Anyone that interacts with Go Deeper, in essence, will have the opportunity to do more than just do an ad read. And I think we were kind of talking about that a while back. And the goal is to basically strengthen our bandwidth in terms of our creative, right? Usually, bandwidth in like a little corporate jargon sense. Have you guys ever heard of someone use that term like bandwidth before?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
more on the technology side,
Hmm.
dealing with um, the RAM and all that.
Yeah, they tend to use in tech companies quite a bit. So bandwidth, in a sense of workflows, right, is basically an expression for talking about processing power, right? How quickly can we actually solve a business challenge with a creative solution? So earlier when we started in the beginning of the process of building out what Diosa looked like, right? What does the show look like? How do we design a pitch deck to actually get what we're doing into a physical space so that everyone can see it and share on it, right? And in essence, what we were doing was using our abilities creatively to process information that wasn't necessarily readily available quickly enough to materialize it both into an entire virtual set for a podcast show that hasn't happened yet and create a whole merch line for robes that will be a part of the business's overall physical presence and appearance. So these two things are demonstrations of being able to use manpower or woman power in this case. I wish there was another word to use for it. And if you guys have an alternative, let me know so I can keep it in the back of here. To be able to process these things quickly, right? We've only really been meeting for the last, what is it, maybe 5 weeks or so. And we've actually gotten further than some major companies do when it comes to product development and campaign design ultimately. So I want you guys to pat yourselves on the back for that because that is something that takes months to actually get done. So that's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing, and it's valuable to clients of creative culture creators in addition to anyone that works on Go Deeper. So what does this have to do with culture creators anyway, right? And ultimately you guys would be after the podcast is in production, which at this point it will be within the next 2 to 3 weeks, um, or maybe 3 to 4. Maybe that'll be a better better idea there. But you will then turn into creative consultants on the show that will now be able to work directly with sponsors who may be looking to partner with the organization to actually sell some of the things on set, or they may be looking to do partnerships with our merch lines, right? So what we're going to do, right? I want you guys to kind of stretch out a little bit if you can, right? Because this is going to use your brain. So a good stretch with the shoulders, right? We're going to do what's called, and the thing is, I haven't seen it done in this capacity, but it should be, right? A consulting case. Are you guys familiar? Has anyone already done a consulting case before?
Yeah, man.
Okay. So what we're going to do, right? Imagine for 1 second that we are meeting with the CMOs of two major companies, right? These will be clients of Culture Creatives, especially once we have Go Deeper out and running. These may be people that are on the show and people that eventually ask for consulting advice from our group here. We'll be working to give 3 recommendations. Make sure you put that to side. If you have a notebook and it helps to think it out physically, I know it helps for me. Go ahead and get that ready, right? As a group, we have to come up with 3 recommendations to direct the creative directing teams by way of the chief marketing officers in order to make the commercial or advertisement that we're seeing more impactful by impacting one of the 4 P's, right? The 4 P's in marketing in general are going to be product, which is the physical thing that's being sold, or in many cases, the intangible. Price, 2, how much the product is in relationship to how the customer purchases it. 3, when I say product price, placement, where is the product? Is it digitally sold or can it be bought in store? Or the promotion, which is the advertisement itself, right? We as creative consultants will come in the creative departments and will come from the perspective of promotion and products, right? We'll say what the design can be changed to appeal to a different group, what the promotion can be changed to make the product look a different way. We've been given a $6 million contract. So put that in your mind, right? $6 million contract to advise these things. However, we only have 8 minutes in this small coffee chat to get the CMO on our side to understand, 1, what the new goals of the campaigns will be, 2, what our 3 recommendations are, and 3, ultimately provide a short but quick brainstorm for that person to know what we would want to do for them for their products. So does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions? Anything that's ambiguous about what we're doing before we head into the case? All righty. So our 2 CMOs are going to be Mike Linton, the CMO of Farmers Insurance. So I'm sure you've heard, we are farmers, dun, 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 dun. Mike made that. So we're going to be talking to Mike in a coffee chat. And I'm not sure specifically how to pronounce the new CMO of Amazon's name. I mean, I don't want to get it wrong. Aomi, could you kind of help me out here? How would I pronounce this? Her her name.
I mean, I will go with Ukonwa, OJCMO.
I wasn't that bad. Okonwa. That's where I was going. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I got it right because she's one of the first CMOs of color that have been recently promoted into the space. So give me 1 second and let me hop over to our source material for today. So take a minute. We'll have 2 minutes for each. After the sessions for the first, imagine that we're talking to Mike first. I'll open up the discussion for everybody to kind of think through where we're going. I'll set the timer, and then we'll just kind of come up with some recommendations for each one. And then once we do that, we'll go on to the next. And from there, we'll be able to get a chance to exercise our creative bandwidth. So I will go ahead and play. And if you can't hear, let me know. I'm going to go from there.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a 3-ring fender bender.
Sorry about that.
Apologies.
Didn't mean it.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Hey, we're sorry.
Quite the circus, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers.
Relax, it's just a bug.
That's not a bug. That's not a bug.
Hit and drone. Seen it, covered it. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers.
And then one last one.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a huge drag. Nothing worth losing sleep over because we covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, so I'll stop. And I will set our timer. So what are some thoughts creatively? What can we change to make it better? And where do we want these new commercials to go?
Well, my first thought was getting an idea of who exactly they're trying to reach out to. And so kind of based off of these commercials, a quick client profile. If you guys have any other ideas, of course, let me know what you think, but I'm thinking that they're reaching out more so to young people with the examples of like the common fender bender or like the drones and like the young family. These are all really targeted towards younger people, but it's turning something that's fear driven into more funny. So instead of like this crazy car crash that happens to young people all the time, it's like the fender bender, like drones crashing into you. So that's who I think that they're really trying to reach out to, or like maybe parents who have kids that are coming into this age where they're coming off of the insurance plans. And so parents watching this, like suggesting to their children. So my first thing is to maybe start some sort of like TikTok campaign, like making farmers like one of those random sound effects that come in that like becomes one of those trends. So it gets that sound in their head and become that younger people can become familiar with, you know, like millennials joining TikTok. It's not just the Gen Z. That's my first suggestion. And it's, I mean, I know we have a $6 million budget, but it's cheap and it reaches out towards a lot of people really quickly if we do it right.
Okay, I like that. I like that. What do you guys think, Andre and Naomi?
I like what Julie said. I was same thing, just trying to see who they was trying to target. I like the how would I say, relevancy, and it's always in the same setting. So just probably change the setting up. You know, if it's targeted towards younger people, then it should be like, you know, in a setting where young drivers would be. So yeah, that's what it would be. Like, so I don't know where they was at, but it was giving me like a courthouse type of vibe or like a museum. So I would just change the setting.
Where would you change it to?
That I don't know, but probably like a college campus or Top Golf, somewhere where accidents from young people are more there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I like
Yeah. Especially if people are drunk too. That would be cool. You
Right.
know, we have those little whoopsies, you know, in the parking lot outside.
I'm picturing like a ton of golf balls hitting the car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But not from the traditional like old man golf course. It's like, yeah, like the Top Golf where young people are going to entertain themselves and accidentally aim the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll get to that younger demographic, especially in the promotion sector, because that's a good adjustment of advertisement. Aomi, you have anything?
Yeah, I'm kind of like on a similar place with Julia and Andre. There's a lot of like car related stuff to it, which is probably not like the only way accidents happen. So I don't know, like kind of like how they got into that rabbit hole. Because like the beauty of it is that a lot of companies have varieties in their ads, so it's not always the same ads. Sometimes it's a shorter version of the same one, sometimes it's another variation. And I think if you're gonna add variation to the options you have, then trying to give more options versus car accidents might be a way to go.
Does farmers do anything? I mean, like they obviously do car insurance, but it's not just in car insurance.
I believe they do life, but that's it. I think they do life and auto. So If you die in the car accident, don't quote me on it. But for purposes of the case, yes, they do other offerings, and I believe that life insurance policies, I think people pay for private ones, like they don't go through their job. It just depends on what they're doing.
Don't they also do farms though? That's why they're called farmers.
I think so. They may insure stuff too, like physical things.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do vehicles, there's a lot of construction accidents and like tractor accidents that happen as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's because like with a lot of social media, you can like be very specific, and with all the algorithms, like you can also tailor who sees what sort of thing. And Google knows a bunch of stuff about us already, so they already know who the farmers are. So if you wanted to make something more tailored to that and let the algorithm help and let them be the one to see more of that, but still give them variety in what they see.
Okay.
So yeah.
So basically now Mike is wrapping up our conversation that we've addressed promotion for him, right? Changing the demographic, changing the ad, getting to those younger folks, taking them to Topgolf, taking them to some bars, and doing those kind of fender bender accidents. Do we have any suggestions for things like logo or the way that the product is purchased, where it's placed, right? For me, I was immediately thinking, I don't know how other people do insurance, but I have Georgia Farm Bureau, and they don't have any advertising that like you have to call to get a policy, right? I was thinking, I'm not sure if Farmers has this, but having an app or something that people can use to determine what they actually need, especially for us, because we're always looking for different policies, could be a good allocation for some of the budget to try to do some app development and see maybe we can just sell the app to this kind of more millennial Gen Z demographic. So I was thinking that could be a good adjustment to their product offerings. That could work as well. But do you guys have any other ideas in relationship to product placements, the product itself, or the pricing structure?
Well, I think for younger people, insurance just sounds like such a complicated thing. So if we can transform it into an app that's like, I mean, social media, Instagram is so complicated, but the way that they have it laid out makes us think it's something so simple. And so turning it into something that's like an app form, that puts younger people at ease, because if we know it's an easy process, we're not gonna linger doing it or stall it or like trying to stay on our parents as long as we can. We're gonna know that it's possible for us to do it by ourselves, and it'll be a big stress relief, not just in actually having the insurance, but also signing up for it. I feel like that's more stressful sometimes.
Yeah, that's a big barrier to entry. Aomi, Andre, you guys have anything about like an app idea, like what we could do to make it appeal to the group?
Nah, I agree. I don't have insurance, so I can't speak on like if it's easy or not. But it's definitely, if it's an app, then people like us, in our age range, will more be inclined to download the app, and it's more navigatable, I guess. It's an easier way to navigate.
Maybe a cool campaign could be like, with 2020, I feel like every time we like cough or sneeze, we start to like overthink the possibilities of what this could be. So maybe like a simple app for the overthinkers.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Like I'm trying to think of like some sort of like commercial scenario where like someone like coughs and all of a sudden their mind goes to like all these different possibilities, and then someone's like, oh wait, slow down, you've got this app right here. It'll take care of that. Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. So an app for overthinkers with Farmers Insurance. That sounds amazing. That sounds like
that's genius.
So I guess Mike's on his way out, right? He's wrapping up things, and the final suggestion would, I think, be what's the biggest thing that he can do now to increase the chances of the millennial and Gen Z demographic of actually purchasing insurance through this prospective app?
I think it's still very traditional in the way that it's viewing its brand and everything. Like, I'm not totally sure how it stands out from any of the other insurance companies, even in terms of color palette, in terms of website, in terms of like how they're presenting themselves in general. And it comes back to like who's the target audience. Like if it's younger people, then I think like there's a lot that can be done to be more appealing to younger people graphically and commercially. But right now, I don't get that vibe. Like, I don't see anything that's necessarily different from any other one. And if your parents have been using one kind of insurance, and you already know someone who's familiar with that insurance and that process of getting it, like, why would you come all the way over here? Like, how is it specific?
Yeah, how to get them off.
Yeah, there's so many options now. I feel like it's not such a bad thing to get specific into a niche, sometimes, and then you can broaden when that part takes off. Because like if you're trying to target everyone all at once, it's, I don't know. There's a lot of competitors out there.
Absolutely. So I think that we're running on time with about 6 seconds to spare.
All right, that's me. My time. My turn. What about my turn?
Well, your mic. What do you think?
Oh, okay. So I'm a different kind of mic, right? So let's go. I think that it wasn't funny. It was boring. I agree with Ayomi. The coloring was horrible. It was super dry. They were in an insurance museum.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that was even, I didn't even get it. You know what I mean? It just was poorly designed. So they could have had like a comedian, like a young TikToker, and it's like kind of walking them through the museum of what could happen. You know, like by the time you get your insurance, you're already getting like a lesson.
Yeah. And that can like identify with the.
Yeah. So someone who hasn't started driving yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we would have gotten positive feedback from using like a TikToker or maybe a celebrity, like a movie star or something?
No, I don't want celebrities. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I don't want to go that way. I'd rather use like up and coming artists or someone that's funny. Someone's on YouTube, someone's on TikTok, someone's on Twitch. I'd rather go that route.
Yeah, like somebody who, like a TikToker who TikToks in his car or something.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, TikToker. Yeah, I even know someone in New York, the one that be talking about Tim's. I can't remember his name. He's like half Dominican, half Puerto Rican, I think, or something. Okay, so for the app, I would like to add, that was genius. How about if they could insert the car they're thinking about buying or the car that they have, and then you get pricing immediately.
Okay.
That is my $6 million thought.
So let's get into the second one before the time ends. I'll play it out maybe once or twice, and then if we need to transition over to the next meeting, we can switch over, start out there, and then I'll wrap up kind of where we are with this. So this, of course, is going to be our Amazon client. She's also given us $6 million to help her with creative direction for this advertisement. This is something they've already worked on, but they just want to get our thoughts and opinions on it and see how we can adjust their current campaign to sell the new Alexa. Are you guys familiar with the new Alexa?
Yes, I've seen this ad. I don't know how I feel about it, but go ahead.
Well, you'll have a good perspective. The Alexa app is, of course, they have the 4 basic product offerings. I think it has the tall version, they have the Echo Dot, and they have different colors that they're changing. And so now this one's in like a spear shape that's on the table there in the middle. So take a look at this ad. We'll watch it twice because Farmer's got, a lot of ads that can get in there. We'll watch it twice and spend some time thinking about how we can make some creative suggestions to their marketing mix and hopefully, increase sales. So we'll watch it. And then of course, once we tap out of this, we'll go into the next meeting and do a feedback session for 10 minutes. And after that, I'll be done.
It's just flawless, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I literally couldn't imagine a more beautiful vessel for Alexa to be inside. Alexa, how many tablespoons are in a cup?
There are 16 tablespoons in a cup. Babe, food just got here. Why are you cooking? Who's that?
Alexa, turn on the sprinklers.
Honey, I already ran the sprinklers. Things get way too wet around here.
Alexa, dim the light.
But I'll save you.
Alexa, lights on. Alexa, lights on.
Add bath oils to my shopping list.
Alexa, no, don't do that.
Read my audiobook.
I was in his hands. I was being changed. Realized that I was also kissing him. Honey, other people have to use the bathroom around.
Okay. We'll watch it one more time and then maybe even take a break in the middle. You know, it's not really fair, but that's okay.
It's just
we'll look at that one more time.
Isn't it? We think so. I mean, I literally couldn't imagine a more beautiful vessel for Alexa to be inside. Alexa, how many tablespoons are in a cup?
There are 16 tablespoons in a cup. Babe, food just got here. Why are you cooking? Who's that?
Alexa, turn on the sprinklers.
Honey, I already ran the sprinklers. Things are getting way too wet around here.
Alexa, dim the lights.
But I'll save you.
Alexa, lights up! Alexa, lights up!
Add bath oils to my shopping list.
Alexa, no, don't do that.
Read my audiobook.
I was in his hands. I was being changed. Realized that I was also kissing him. Honey, other people have to use the bathroom around here too.
Okay, so I'll let everyone take like a 2-minute stretch break. Let's really think about what we just saw. Keep in mind, right? Alexa is a very different product than insurance that we just saw, right? The goal here is that they're trying to sell a digital product that's available through the Amazon app, right? So Amazon Prime, you can go and order it. And of course, from there is how you make your purchase, right? With insurance, there's probably going to be an insurance agent in the middle somewhere. With our app solution, probably not. But the goal here is to look at those 3 things. So I'll give you a little bit of information about the ad overall, and then I want you to really kind of ponder on that for a minute, and then we'll have the same 10-minute session for 3 recommendations. So on average, the Alexa for this, I believe, is right around $179 per unit.
You have 2 minutes before we're gonna have to restart, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's really it. So this unit is being sold for around $179. I believe there are 2 color options that are available. And in relation to the product that was out before, you have the taller Alexa Echo that was being sold for like around $199 when it first started in the summertime, and now they're closer to $89, $100 on average, depending if it's used or bought. So you guys think on it for a while, and then once we get back on the call, I'll start the 10 minutes back up.